They said I torched my family's barn for insurance money. I was the last one seen with the blue gas can, my grandfather's old one, used every year for spring cleanup. Thomas Rayburn, the prosecutor, smirked through opening statements. Jessica Carlton, my lawyer, barely said a word. She just tapped her pen once, then again like a metronome. My stomach twisted. The jury looked bored, but Jessica glanced at me and mouthed, "Trust me." So I did. I had no choice. Thomas Rayburn displayed photos of scorched timbers, melting hinges, and that damned blue gas can. He pointed at me like I was already cuffed. Intent, opportunity, motive, he said, circling each word. I clenched my fists under the table. Jessica remained still. No notes, no objections. My cousin glanced back at me from the gallery, doubt flickering across his face. That crushed me more than Rayburn's words. My whole life was rooted in that land. I'd never destroy it. I needed Jessica's silence to mean something. I took the stand, my voice steady but thin, explained the cleanup, the tradition, the timing. Rayburn grilled me about debts. So you owed nearly $40,000. Jessica didn't flinch. Instead, she handed him a copy of my bank ledger. No loans, just tractor payments. Still, the jurors leaned toward Rayburn. He spun out like a web. Jessica whispered, "Let him overreach." I swallowed hard, praying she was right. Rayburn introduced a neighbor's statement claiming I rushed from the barn the night it burned. It was a lie. I wasn't even home. My aunt, a retired nurse, had taken me to the ER for a hand injury. Jessica finally stood, her first objection, hearsay sustained. The courtroom hushed. My cousin looked up, his eyes meeting mine. "Less doubt this time." Jessica scribbled 2 words on her notepad. "Trust builds." Flashback 2 weeks before the fire. I had caught Rayburn speaking to my former employee outside a diner. The guy had a grudge, fired for stealing tools. I never thought more of it. Now Jessica placed that employee's criminal record on the bench. Rayburn objected, overruled. To my chest thudded. Jessica leaned in and murmured, "One more thread." The jurors finally looked at her. Not him. Something was shifting. Jessica pulled out a signed affidavit from their timestamped during the fire. She said just one thing: Exhibit G. Rayburn stammered. The red herring, my neighbor, was exposed as unreliable, with 2 prior false reports. The judge arched an eyebrow. Jessica finally looked at the jury. "You decide what truth looks like." Her silence all trial strategy. Rayburn's case cracked wide open. My cousin, he smiled for the first time. The jury took just 30 minutes. Not guilty. I gripped the table, breathing like I'd just surfaced from deep water. Jessica nodded once, her eyes soft now. "Silence reveals," she said. My cousin hugged me. "I'm sorry," he whispered. That meant more than winning. I didn't just clear my name, I earned back my family's belief. Rayburn didn't stick around for the press. Jessica faced the cameras. Her first words: "Public truth doesn't shout." Reporters swarmed. I stayed back, hand on that old blue gas can, cleared and returned. Symbol of tradition, not crime. At home, we burned brush like always. But this time, the whole family joined, silent, present, whole again.